Everything that was either outdated or the cases of over.
Hopefully this goes nice and smooth. Yes.
Probably want to go
Right now, there's no evidence in there, but that's another house, like I have a swerving everywhere.
You do?
Can you maybe this?
I'm just calling it like I see it.
Yep.
I don't know what he's doing.
Nope.
He can be stroking.
I don't know,
I call
like educator, they install, temporary lockers that are like built into the
I
wall.
don't know if he's drinking.
And each one has a single key
Medical word
that like when they put stuff in there, they can take the key, and that's the only officer that has access to it, other than like Brad.
Car sitting in this thing, you know,
So I just
heard people talk.
think about a system like that, but the limited things that I have on here, is trying to figure out something.
Most of the evidence stuff small.
Yeah, mostly.
Clayton said something about, I was like a big customer or whatever he called. He's not gonna be here.
It's not going to be here, so he will be available by phone. I don't know if he's or by phone.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if he decided. My bringer's office.
What now?
Tom, his wife got hurt.
It's something I gotta figure out.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, you
Guys,
Hey, I have those too. Are you okay? I'm just gonna set you down here. I want you to wait.
I will entertain a motion for anybody who
I'll make a motion to accept last month's minutes.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right, new business. What do we got, Justin?
Well, the only new business I got is to talk about the parking lot and some areas downtown a little bit. The goal is hopefully to be able to reseal and stripe the parking lot after we're done paving. I'm optimistic. I'm pretty hopeful that we're gonna have some funds available to do that, so. But there's been a lot of talk and concern with some things in the parking lot, mainly the trees. The trees are currently classified as a invasive species. You can't buy them anymore. The one up along the front of the old co-op fertilizer building where Monroe Wellness is, it either needs to be trimmed or taken out. It is getting into the building a little bit. The benefit to the two down Andrew Street is it does help control the parking lot and curb people from going in the end they shouldn't be going in on. I've talked to Brett a little bit about it. If those were to come out, and they're only, I don't know how big the holes are that they dug for those when they put them in, but I drove some stakes. The pictures that you see is kind of the location of the survey stakes that's up there. I drove at the stake and that's asphalt. The stake wouldn't go through, so the hole can't be that big. The roots are only going to expand and tear up the parking lot if we let them get too much bigger. So
How many trees are there altogether?
there's two on the Andrews Street and there's one in the middle. I need to talk with Kayla, the owner of the Wellness Center, and get her input on that grassy area there. There's two lights that are in there that were there for the business purposes back before the transfer. And if that's something that she's not wanting, maybe we can look at maybe pouring concrete, taking that out, pouring concrete and adding some parking spots there possibly, or maybe she has an idea, I don't know, but, so that's kind of the situation with the trees. The other areas, so
Who owns those trees?
they're all ours.
Okay.
Along the semi-service building,
Yeah.
that grass is all zerkers. It has been sprayed and killed and it is going to be taken out and river rock is going to be put in like next week, I think. The mulch area up front, it's really, really soft. We don't know why it's so wet all the time, but we're gonna take the mulch out with your blessing. The plan is remove all the mulch, put in river rock. Then the 2 islands that are up along the road. So it's not in those pictures. So these 2 islands right here. You know what islands I'm talking about?
Yeah, these ones right here.
Yep, so those 2 islands, the one, as you're facing north, the one on the right, it really should just go to concrete. The one on the left could go either concrete or river rock. There's I don't know, it may be better off as being river rock, but either way, it could be dressed up and
So the one on the right, if you're looking like to the north,
the one on the right,
that one has to be?
I would go concrete there.
Okay.
It would finish off the concrete on that side. Everything else that way is concrete.
It'd be the east side,
But you're not,
The east side.
correct.
you're not making it like an entrance.
Not an entrance,
Okay.
just sidewalk. The other side could go either way. If you go part concrete, part river rock, Zerkers has all river rock in front, across the road in front of the old Monroe grain storage barn, that's all rock. It could go a couple different ways there. I noticed that the curb is busted really bad at the entrance there by Zerkers. I don't know what hit it, but something hit it pretty solid, so that'll have to be fixed. It may fix better if we did make it concrete, but next week, the sidewalk is supposed to go in at the park. This could be done with that. It'd be extra. It'd be my recommendation to pull money to do this river rock and concrete from rainy day. The cost that I had from Dan to do the east side, we dig it out, they do the rest, $2,500. You can look at about probably the same on the other side. Unless we go all river rock or, however we do it. You're looking 5,000 to 6,000 is my guess.
So right now, the way that looks, it looks aesthetic. Like each side matches, right? Or
Right now, yeah, they're in, grass and.
So if we were to concrete one side and then river rock on the other side, is that gonna look weird?
I don't think it's gonna look too bad. We could maybe make it a smaller oval since the fire hydrant is down there. There's a light pole right there. We could shorten it, make it a shorter oval with some river rock and then pour concrete the rest of the way. I mean, we could do it a little bit. That would, the river rock's not gonna have to be cut through in order to dig up a fire hydrant if that ever had to happen. But,
Does that estimate include the curb fix?
no, because I didn't, that whole side hasn't even been looked at.
Okay.
I'm just basically looking at it as the east side was roughly 2,500. I'm just mirroring that cost.
Correct. Are you thinking maybe you get an estimate on that curb fix?
It's gotta be fixed.
Right, and then tying it all together?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that would be my suggestion. And as far as the trees and stuff go, if you want to take some time and drive by and look at it, and I can get with Monroe Wellness and get her feedback and bring this to the next meeting.
Are we wanting Grover to do that? As far as trim the trees and?
Grow doesn't trim trees.
I was
Well,
gonna
I'm
say,
talking about removal.
I mean, we can take them out. We just would have to have somebody come and grind the stone.
Yeah.
They're not that astronomically big.
Well.
But then just if we take the trees out at the Andrew Street entrance, we just have to figure out what we can do there to make it so that we still have, maybe we put a continuance of the sidewalk across there and tie into the sidewalk over at the Zerker side and create an entrance there with a couple large rocks on the corners. it's better just to put some eyes on it, but that's why the other pictures that you have shows the survey stakes and kind of the wonkiness of how that parking lot is surveyed. And
So if we got rid of those trees, it added 2 more parking spots.
it would add a parking spot on each side, I would think.
Yeah. Which I'm sure Kaylee's probably gonna
I mean, I think it would benefit everybody.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to tear the parking lot up
No.
either, so.
I agree.
Does that estimate include making it AHA compliant?
Any what?
Does it include making it compliant, AHA? Because,
The ADA?
yeah,
Clayton said that like handicap and those types of things are covered in the parking lot ordinance. The signage, it's all applicable. So, because that was the conversation, there's 2 handicap spots up in front of her building. She wanted those to stay handicapped. And I asked him if anything needed to be done as far as ordinance or resolution to address those spots, and he said that it's covered in the ordinance. If it's not, then it would be added to the parking lot ordinance that's already there. The one thing that never got finished that was brought up last year, I think it was overnight parking and how there should be no overnight parking in that parking lot past like 11 o'clock till 5 or 5:30 in the morning, something like that. So that may need to, if that's going to be covered, then that signage can be added and we would be covered under the current ordinance.
Well, we definitely don't want any overnight parking there.
It did, I mean, you had a couple last year where it made it a little tricky to try and get the lot cleared without having to work around too many vehicles. Usually it was only one, but,
Hey, Justin, how many parking spots are on the lot right now? How many, 12 or 13 or 15?
oh no, there's probably 30.
Oh, 30? Oh, I had no idea.
I don't know, I mean, you can look at,
30 spots, okay.
I'm guessing, without counting,
Okay.
so.
Okay.
who would do the tree removal?
I could do it.
Okay.
We could cut the tree down, that's not hard. We just, like I said, we'd have to have somebody come in, once we get it down, we can clean up the mulch, see what we've got, take the stump out. So,
Do you want to get an estimate on what it would cost to fill that in with concrete?
the center part,
Well, the trees.
well, the trees, we could probably just have that, I'll look into that. We wouldn't have to do concrete there, I think we could fix it with
The
that.
stone and asphalt. Okay.
So do you want me, am I good to go ahead with the Jackson Street end of things for right now and get the concrete and that stuff addressed?
I would like to see what it costs fixing the curb and seeing about.
Well, it all just needs to be done at the same time.
Yeah.
You're looking
Yeah.
at 5,000 to 6,000 probably for both sides.
Total for both sides?
I would say for both sides, considering the one side was, I don't have it here, it was hand delivered to me, but the east side was $2,500, so.
We could say.
Long-term looks downtown, I would like to redo all the concrete downtown. It's not necessarily bad,
Right.
but it is uneven and it's got years and years of salt and wear on it, so maybe we have to do that.
So that-
A chunk at a time per year or something, I don't know. We'll just have to look into cost on that.
Yeah, that could be something like that. We could have him, if he says it's gonna be 5,000, we could just make a motion and go ahead and do it. If it's anything more than that, then he has to come back with us.
Okay.
I don't want to come back for $1,000 though, so let's give me a little leeway so that I can just make it happen and go away, because it's going to happen next week if it's going to happen.
The thing is, I'd rather it match than have it.
I would agree with that. So
We can make it all concrete, that's not an issue to make it all concrete.
Okay, I'm game on that. So, I'll enter-
That way, if it's more than 7,500, you'll need to come back.
Yeah, he has to come back. 7,500 is top. So, I'll entertain a motion.
What's that?
still want a quote for the full project. I think I hear Mike talking about it now, that you still just want a quote for the full project to make sure it's complying with the procurement ordinance.
The procurement is less than 10,000, one quote.
Sure. Yes, if it's less than 10,000, but you at least need a quote saying that it's less than 10,000.
Right. Yeah, I'll get an updated quote.
Well, I'll entertain a motion on that.
I'll make a motion for the repairs up to $7,500 without coming back again for another proposal.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye. Okay.
Everything else I've got is old business.
All right, go ahead, start it.
Well, can I let Jeff Solder go?
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Folks, just two items of business. I wanted to bring you up to date on the town's application for a GSA account down at the state. I did get a hold of Marshall Tullis this past week. They did receive our application. Unfortunately, there's just some small corrections that need to be done, basically on signature block. And that's my fault for having you guys sign in the wrong place. But the bottom line is, Mike, I think you're the only one that I need to have sign on both 6 and 7 down at the bottom as a card holder. That will be right down here. Just put your title and date and signature right here. And then the same thing on this page, right here. Okay, and the other thing, for the representatives where I had you three gentlemen sign, actually what they're asking for are the individuals that the Town of Monroe wants to assign as having access to the PPMS system. This is a computer system that you can log into and see what types of materials or equipment are available through the GSA account. So ideally, you ought to have at least one or really two individuals that work here in the town that could access that. And I would simply like to suggest Justin, for one. He helped put the application together, and I've seen his computer skills. He's pretty good at that. And the other one is probably Rachel as the town clerk. But I do think you should have two individuals that would be there, and all they have to do is sign where I had you gentlemen sign the last time.
Clayton, do we have to make a motion for this?
He can hear better through the live stream, so he said that he may be delayed.
Yes, you should. I would have liked to have Jeff provide those to my office prior to presenting them today again, but yes, you need to make a motion.
Okay, well, I'll entertain a motion then.
I'll make a motion to allow Justin and Rachel to be.
Second.
Yeah.
All in favor? Okay.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen. I'll coordinate with them after the meeting to have their office title and names assigned in the representative block.
Can you still pay for future
Yes,
reference?
yes, you need to make a motion.
What do you say?
He was repeating what he had said.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, and for future, I would include Clayton in on this, so that he's up to date on it, up to speed.
Okay. Well, that segues into my next point. Clayton, I think if we are successful in finding a piece of equipment, a jet per se, through the GSA, I think it would behoove us to have a contract between the Town of Monroe and my entity, AC Veterans Memorial and Stag Display Inc., that absolves the Town of Monroe of all liability and/or cost associated with the transport of the said piece of equipment here to the Town of Monroe. So if you could give that some thought, and certainly I could get my attorney involved with that also. But it's kind of that time to maybe start thinking about that a little bit, okay?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, all right, and then I just want to bring an update on the project, guys. The first thing, big thing is the school has selected a slightly different location. It's to the south of the flagpole, to the west of the flagpole, kind of adjacent to the entry sign. It's where that big tree is, and Superintendent McClure informed me, he says, that's no problem, we'll take that tree down. It's a much better location. It will give us more room for potential future growth of 124. So I think they made a wise choice in moving it down there. The other thing, our fundraising is proceeding. We're close to $40,000 that we have raised at this point towards our $150,000 goal. So that's important, because if we do find us an aircraft somewhere, I need at least 75 probably to transport it to get it down here. So it's not a cheap thing. It's one of the reasons that we had such a large fundraising goal. And the other thing is, and this is a little bit of a carrot, I'll simply tell you that I'm keen to get this application in and accepted. And that is because there is a possibility of a jet out there. Okay, I've been made aware of an aircraft that's sitting down at the Lockheed plant down at Carswell Air Force Base, Fort Worth. And our chances of getting it are minimal, I'll say right now. But that shouldn't stop us from trying, okay? So I'll just throw that out there, and who knows what could happen. It's honestly, it's about what we want. It's an A model. That's the lightest jet they made. And it's already had the engine taken out and most of the things done. I think the landing gear stays at the plant. So that's perfect. We don't need no landing gear, okay? And we'll see how it goes. I got excited when I heard about it. I will tell you that. But I want to caution everybody here. Right now, I don't think there's a really good chance of getting it. Okay?
That's an F-16 you're talking about.
That's an F-16. Yeah, exactly what we're looking for. Okay? Any questions for me?
I don't have any, you guys.
Okay. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. Okay, Justin, carry on.
Just to step back a minute, we are down another pump at the EQ basin, so I'm waiting to hear word as to what happened. We got an over temp alarm, and they came and picked it up last Friday, so we'll see what they say.
Where is that at, Jake?
The EQ basin, there by Eckhart Woodworking. So, one pump went in and another pump came out. All right, so moving on. The MRBC, the FEMA grant that you approved to actually apply for, which the FEMA grant would have taken 18 months to actually get the funding. They were made aware that they have funding through the state. And so he as in Rodney, presented it to his board. They are funding the entire study instead of waiting for the FEMA grants to have it right away and are able to move forward. We'll still put in our match of, you guys approved 4,000 they were at, or 5,000 they were asking for a match, and then of 4,000, which was the same as what it would have been for the FEMA grant. If there is extra money in stormwater, I would suggest that we do apply more money towards that. what they're putting up and what they have put up already. We've gotten a complete stormwater study out of this at no cost. If we want to keep getting help, we got to show that we are serious about wanting to fix our problems, and sometimes that unfortunately falls in the form of a financial agreement as well. So, but right now we are at the $4,000 to $5,000 range, and we'll see how the summer takes us with stormwater stuff, and then later on in the year we'll go from there. CCMG has been put off until after the 4-H fair. I don't remember if I said that last month, but that is the official word. After the fair, then maybe we'll get started on that sometime, hopefully early August. The roadway annexations, I don't know where we're at with that. I did tell Brett's office that we needed a survey done down on Adams and South Street, or Adams and 50 South. So I'm just waiting to get the survey information back for that. Polk Street is kind of cold right now. The water tower, all that equipment is in. That should be getting installed for the communications portion next week. And then that will be good. And we'll have the issues that we've been having in the rain. And sewer rates. It's the last thing that I've got to bring up.
So I know that, last meeting we were talking about rate increases and, just talking to some people, it sounds like, we're extremely higher. Obviously we have to be because we rely on other resources, but I look at it as far as like a retail side. If we come to Burn and Decatur and we have a bulk amount of our constituents here, can we go to them and negotiate?
We got a contract.
How long does that get to till?
30 years, 20 or 30 years.
I mean, there's no, we're at their whim for the next.
It was put in place back when I was board president. I mean, it's a locked-in deal. And Decatur's, I do want to sit down with Decatur. I'll probably get with Clayton and see if we can arrange to sit down and discuss some things with them. But we're a small community, and people think that small communities have lower rates, but it's kind of the opposite. Smaller communities have higher rates because there's less people and less business to spread the rates. We have the same problems that any other community has, down to a T, the same problems.
Yeah.
And the unfortunate side with us is we have a lot of residential and not a lot of commercial or industrial.
Right.
Which the commercial and industrial side pays the heftier rate and keeps that cost down a little bit more for the resident. We're opposite. Like, we got good residential, we're lacking on the other end of it.
Clayton, what's your thoughts on that?
On the contract we have with Burn, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that Justin and I need to sit down first and go over the very, very detailed specifics, but I plan to go back to Burn and specifically their attorney and see really what they're planning on us paying, given that we have that contract in place.
Yeah, I would like that, just for the fact that it is pretty clear that we pay quite a bit more.
No, I completely agree. I mean, that meeting needs to happen sooner than later. I'll just get in touch with Dave Baumgartner's office and we'll set that up soon, and Justin and I will meet beforehand.
Okay, thank you.
So you want to table that?
I think we ought to table that until they have their discussion with Burn. Anything else, Justin?
That's all I had to bring in.
Well, I think if we're gonna do that with Burn, then we need to have a discussion with Decatur. then.
Well, that's what I've said.
I mean, both sides need to have a little.
So right now, our contract with Burn is, we own 13% of the lagoon. So there's an ownership there built into that contract. But then on top of that, we also pay the treatment court. We don't have treatment. We pump it, they treat it. When they see increase, we see increase. Based on a percentage, based on what we pump to them. So now with Decatur, I feel like we're kind of backwards with Decatur because when they do an increase, it's not directly related to their wells and the transmission line that we pull from. So that's where the sit down needs to happen with them and dive into it a little bit and see if we can fine tune that contract.
Is there a possibility that we don't need Decatur for water?
No. We have one well and you have to have two sources.
Why can't we have a second well?
I'm guessing $100,000 reason minimum. Why? And they've got better water down there than what we've got up here.
Yeah, their water.
Our water's way harder than what they have down there in the Tage River.
Because Burn gets their water from Decatur also,
No,
don't they?
they have their own wells.
They probably.
They're in the Tage River too, though.
So they
At
probably-
one time, they did get their water from Decatur. But yeah.
Because we're adding how much, what's the percentage you told me the other day? That
We're only
add?
looking at up to 7%.
We add 7% to our,
We saw a 15% increase from Burn.
which, no, I'm talking about the water. How much comes from our well?
Oh, we use 20% of our
And
water.
that's put into the 80% brought in from Decatur in order to give us the quality that we have right now.
Correct. Because before the water treatment project, the water project, we didn't use our well hardly once a year. And we dumped $30,000+ into that well, and it just sat. So if we're gonna have a well, we need to make sure that it's gonna operate the way it needs to if we need it.
So if we were to do a second well and go away from Decatur, the quality of the water would be poorer.
It would be harder. You may end up having to add softening. What's that cost gonna add? I bet it's $1 million plus engineering. I don't know for sure. I don't have the right, I don't have those numbers, but it wouldn't be cheap.
Is there grants out for that kind of stuff for smaller communities?
We didn't qualify for grants for USDA or Okra.
No.
When we did the water and sewer projects, we had to use SRF because of those reasons. The only reason our rates are where they're at and not higher is because we've gotten $2.5 million in grants from SRF. Like, they bought the loan down to keep our rates at what they said the minimum had to be. At that time, I think it was 45 and 65. I don't remember for sure, but it was in that ballpark, and so that's where they set our rates. But when rates don't get increased, then you see big jumps. That's why it's important to keep up on them a little at a time, so that when things arise, we don't have to see a big jump. I mean, we saw 100% increase, I think, on sewer, maybe more, 125.
And I'm not gonna disagree with that, but I just wondered if maybe we could negotiate something with them to make it.
I mean, that would be up to the attorneys, but the other thing that was kind of disturbing at the time was the utilities. Not really just me, but back when Dad was doing it, we didn't get a say in anything that was discussed. It was just done, and,
Right.
we deserve to have that input. So like talking with Clayton's gonna be good. That conversation never happened in the past.
I mean, I definitely think we should have one. I mean,
I'm all game for that. I'm all game for that, but with what we're up against right now in the force main, we found our force main down at 300 South. The hatch is gonna be in Tuesday. It's supposed to be in Tuesday. I'll have to deliver that to the concrete facility to have it cast into a lid. I mean, we're still looking at $15,000 to spend to get all that put together. The parts are here, it just has to be installed. And then we've got to hook everything up and blow it off and hope that it does what we think it's going to do. It's a trial and error thing with it. I mean, we can't see inside that piping. There's no way to see it unless we clean
And Justin, just for the record, this system was put into place back in 1978,
it.
correct?
1978. Yep. All brand new, 1978.
And if we were to not use burn and build our own, if the EAP would even give us the permits, our sewage rates would go up significantly.
Well, yeah, you have to put in.
Correct?
How much is a new sewer plant for one?
Correct.
You have to be able to treat for your size plus growth, so they're not gonna let you put in less than double. Then you pay the cost for everything, licensing, permitting. It's a lot that goes into it.
A lot of extra costs, because you'd have to have more manpower just to.
Correct.
I mean, it's just more than what the town right now can afford to do.
I don't know what a sewer plant can be put in for a town, like we're a small community, what can a small community put a treatment plant in for? I mean, on a smaller scale, but we're treating 1 million+ gallons a month.
Really? Per month.
And whatever water that we show that we buy from Decatur and use out of our own well, we're putting about that much back to burn, plus rain, that we're still trying to figure out where all of our I&I is coming from. That's a big one.
Yeah, we ran into that, 10 years ago, we went through and.
Whenever we started working on the sewer was about 2 years after I started working for the town. It took us 5 years.
We were working on that to get as much of the, whatever was leaking in.
Yeah, and we sealed a bunch of it out.
Yeah.
We did our manhole linings, we sealed a bunch of it out.
But now we're starting to see an increase again, so are we having somebody with, tying in with their sump pumps again? Is that what's going on?
And that's the question, that's the big question, and that's why we try to do the inspection through the lateral launches, and the recommendation came back from the camera guy that did that, it would be better to go through the cleanouts at the houses than to go up the laterals because of not being able to, you can only take a lateral launch into a lateral in a certain direction. You gotta go upstream so that, because the flow comes in channels downstream. So you gotta be able to get up in there. If you come backwards, the lateral launch won't go up the pipe. So.
Okay, thank you, Justin. Alley signs discussion.
Yeah, so I asked to put the alley signs discussions from last town meeting on the agenda here. Talking with you guys from last month, and I had a conversation with somebody with LifeWise, and I feel like we should remove this one-ways. So that being said, I think we should keep up the caution or yield sign. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. No. So do we need to make a motion for that, Clayton?
Yeah, to rescind the ordinance in part, so every part of the ordinance other than the yield signs.
Yeah. So I guess I'll make a motion to remove the one-way signs and to leave up the yield sign
And stop signs.
and stop signs. Yeah.
There's no stop signs on it.
I think there were some stop signs around.
The only ordinance we're rescinding is just the portion with the one-way.
Right.
Okay. I'll entertain a second.
My question is this. If we take away the one-way, why are we leaving the signs up?
You're
The
not,
yield
you're not,
signs. Why are we leaving the yield signs up?
I think it has to do with easement, for that particular intersection, with the building being so close to that intersection.
So-
That's the only reason that they're, just slow people down going.
Right. Not to interrupt you, but from you moving in your camper,
Jennifer being on the end there, and then LifeWise having issues with the buses going through there and hitting signs, knocking them down is the reason why I feel like we should take them down.
Then you should just take the yield signs down and not make it yield either.
I mean, we
Because if
still,
they're having trouble with the signs, then are we gonna come back next month and say, well, we're hitting the yield signs now with a trailer or a bus, so does that alleyway need anything?
so here's my question. We were approached with a safety concern of speed, and we examined all the alleys. And I got great feedback from one intersection, actually a couple. I understand the one-ways, we looked at everything, we addressed the safety issues, and did what we thought was logical for safety. Now, the LifeWise bus chooses to turn north at the intersection. Why can't they go all the way to the end and catch Van Buren Street? Why are they out back and not dropping off out front? I don't care if the one-ways are there, one way or the other, but they don't have to go north.
I understand that. I didn't ask that question as why she's doing what she's doing, but there is a reason why, and I'm assuming it's probably to keep the kids away from traffic.
For out back, and I can understand that.
Yeah.
There's limited parking up there, and when there's cars, then it's a cluster, so.
But I mean,
I would say with my bigger roll-off being close to the length of that bus, they can't go down to Van Buren and make that turn. If Eric and Mindy are home with their trucks on the corner, you can't make that corner either without it.
They turn north.
You know, hit the pole, and the tail swing the back of the bus into the truck. It's too short, you can't make that.
You're saying the do not enter sign?
Well,
Off of Van Buren?
Line in to turn at Van Buren,
Yeah.
north or south, either way, there's,
Okay.
if you turn
so
north.
they'd hit the pole, if they turned south with
Yeah.
the truck there, and they'd hit the
Yeah.
truck turning
Right,
south.
it's too tight.
Now, what sign are we talking about? The one-way sign, or are we talking about
The
yield
one-way
signs
sign.
or the one-way sign?
So,
I don't know if we necessarily needed a one-way sign on there.
as opposed to just rescinding the ordinance, are we allowed to just remove the one-way signs, leave the ordinance as written? There is no enforcement, it's not, I know there's a bunch of roads in the county that already have ordinances with no signage because there's not a need. If they have a need, then they add the signs and then it's an enforceable thing. So, then what if something comes up down the road where we have to do something? It's
Yeah.
already in place. We just put the signs back up and we work with the community first and see what works best for the community.
yeah.
Can we do that, Clayton?
Justin is correct there, and Justin and I have talked about that previously, that you can have roadway ordinances all that you want, but until there is signage up, it's not enforceable. So if you take any of the signage down, that portion of the ordinance is not enforceable until the signage is put back up.
So we don't really need to rescind it then?
We don't need to rescind it.
Once we take any signage down, there would have to be another public hearing about putting signage back up. That's the only, so you don't have to completely rescind or even in part rescind the ordinance. And you can just vote to take certain signage down today at a regular meeting.
You don't have to have a public meeting to do that?
You don't have to have a public hearing.
To take down a sign?
Is a public meeting.
And I will look at the location of the yield sign. I know which one she's talking about. I'll look at it and see if there's a way that we can move it to where it still provides the safety that we're trying to achieve, but yet not get hit by the bus turning the corner. I mean, there's a way we can work around it. There's another issue with another alley and a yield sign. I've talked with Nathan and we got it sorted out. So I know that we can get it figured out. And then we'll just have to amend the ordinance for the alley that is in between Andrews and Walnut, because we turned those based on concerns from the neighbors. The issue was north and south, not east and west, so we flip-flopped them.
Okay.
We need to change that ordinance. And then we take this down if we need to. We don't need to change the intersection and how it operates. We just need to move a sign over a little bit probably. So we can work through all
My
that.
question is, do we still need signs there as a yield there?
What
That's
else?
a good thing.
The yield you agree is
I
good?
think it's a good thing.
Okay.
From what I called earlier, he said that it's helped his alley tremendously. He said people come to almost a complete stop at the yield signs instead of
Okay.
blowing down at a 25 mile an hour.
That was the whole point of it.
Exactly.
Correct. That's why I'm
And
asking.
I'm open to, if it needs changed to east and west, to make sure that you can make turns. The whole point is just to slow people down going through there, because the building and then vehicles parked behind the business makes it hard to see east and west.
One part that plays into safety though in the alleys, just as a roadway, an alley, the right of way of the alleys is 16 foot. You can't be hanging out into the alley with the rear end of your car. We've got that issue going on at an intersection in town that, you don't want to protrude out in the alley. That's a safety hazard, and that's exactly what we're trying to avoid. So
You're good with the yield signs staying
Yeah,
where
I
they're
think
at?
they're good there, for sure. Yield sign.
Are there two yield signs or what?
Make a motion just to take down the one way.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to take out.
And I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, good. All right, strict pavement is strict here? Nope. Okay, we'll have anything, we'll table that one. Okay, town marshal, Nathan.
I'll just try to make this brief as I can. So for the month of June, there were 36 total calls for service. Department updates. IDEX has been established for several officers. We're still trying to finalize the other three. So working with IDEX, fingerprinting, and so on to make sure they have full access to Flex and Mobile, which is up and going. So Dallas Krieger, which you guys have not met yet, but he comes from Decatur. He's ordered his equipment, awaiting its arrival. And then I'll need to complete his process for getting him started. Both the in-car radar and handheld radar have been recertified and are ready to go. I'm gonna skip over vehicles for now. We'll visit that another time. I'm working with Motorola rep to see about 4 additional body cams. Right now we have 2 body cams, which now that we're up to 5 officers plus a reserve, I'm just trying to get one for everybody so we don't have to keep signing them in, signing them out. And as far as communication goes, I guess I wanted to hear from the public or whoever is here. We're using social media, stuff's being published in the papers. I guess I'm open to suggestions for how we can improve on that. I put in my summary here that I had the idea, and I kind of ran it by Rachel, of leaving that front exterior door unlocked to the lobby and putting a phone in there that connects people directly with dispatch, give them prompts or whatever. And then they're able to relay information to them about what they need, and then dispatch then relays it to us. So, again, I'm open to whatever, but I guess that's just the hurdles of running this part-time.
So one of the somebody brought it up to my attention that doing it through Facebook Messenger could be a huge domestic DD situation to where the partner sees that they contact you through Facebook, it could be detrimental to them, so.
Well, and, most of those are instant messages, so those are private, and it comes directly to, Derek and I are the only ones that have access to our Facebook page right now, so.
Well, it's just simply saying that if that spouse were to pick up their phone and see it reached out.
Yeah.
It could
to
be
see
bad
it
for
on
them.
that side, yeah. Again, I don't know where to go with it at this point. I've expanded as far as I can to try to get a direct line of communication, but.
I mean, is this something that maybe the sheriff should come down with you and all of us and have a conversation to where?
Yeah, we probably could, because I think it was brought up at the last meeting, which I wasn't here, about, I think it was Mike Miller's case with the person at the deli, so. And I handled that case, like he said, the next time I was on, which happened to be Monday morning. I don't remember when it happened, Friday or Saturday morning, so. But I've already talked to Dan and Eric at the Sheriff's Department about them responding to what they deem as priority calls, and then us handling anything else for the town of Monroe, so. And I don't know, they convey that message to dispatch, and then dispatch determines that on the spot, like, when they get those calls. I don't know if that's where it ends. So, I mean, again, I'm open to the idea of like Dan or Eric coming down and sitting in on some of these meetings. Maybe they can help some.
Maybe we can have them come to the next board meeting and we can have an open discussion. And if there's anybody that has any comments or something like that, they can be here to ask those questions so that they can be, it would be probably workable for both parties and then help them out that way.
So, that's pretty much it I got for the department. I'm hoping that when Dallas starts, that we get closer to that 40 hours a week. Because to my knowledge, Rachel, maybe you can chime in, but we're probably only seeing half at most, hour-wise.
Yeah.
So,
Well, thank you, Nathan. Appreciate it.
I saw somebody running radar this last week, and I do appreciate it.
yep.
Okay, fire department.
We have signed a contract and made a down payment on a new vehicle. We're going to be getting a new fire engine. It's from Midwest. They're a company out of Wisconsin. So everything's been approved and signed. We'll probably take possession in late Q3 of '27. So it's a year out at least. Payment due, of course, on delivery, but we are having a fundraiser here in August. We bought a truck from them back in 2022. It was the last brand new truck that we bought from the same company. And then we had a benefit auction in 2022. We made a lot of money. So we're having another one, and this is assisted by the Amish community. They're really helping us out with this. So I have a couple flyers here if media or whoever wants to take a flyer. But we're hoping for a good turnout. If you know companies or anybody that wants to donate items for our auction, that's the way the auction's going to be, is donated items. And we hope that you guys all come. There's going to be a meal and some other activities going on as well. So that'll be August 28th at the auction park here at 2 South and 2 East. We'll have pictures of the truck and everything on poster boards. Of course, the truck won't be there, but we'll have pictures of it and information about it.
What does that truck cost? What's the cost of that truck?
$545,000.
Ooh.
Which is a pretty decent price for an engine,
Yeah.
to be honest.
And that's a new vehicle.
Brand new.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nothing's cheap anymore.
Yeah.
Here's a new truck,
It will
2.5 million.
replace the
2.5.
one
We don't have a front.
Single quote.
The other thing that I just have that's been tabled for many months now is that clothing allowance thing. And Clayton and I can't seem to make the same meetings, so we can't really have a discussion about it. He asked me to send him information via email, which I did last month. I don't know if he's got any updates on that. But just so we could put that issue to a close, I didn't know what your thoughts were.
Clayton?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've had at least the council and I've had discussions about, what the minimum is. It's, I believe, a minimum total between automobile and clothing of 500 now. Does that sound correct, Chris?
Yes, that's correct. And right now, currently, it's 200, 100 for each, which you're doing. You're meeting the requirement right now. It's just you have a label that was clothing versus clothing and vehicle, and the state's just recommending the increase.
So if we're only doing clothing, then it would just be 250, right?
Yeah, I guess if you kept it labeled the same as you did now, so only clothing, then it would be 250, correct? And not
Yeah. The council can make a decision on that today if they'd like. I mean, I also think, I can drive to Monroe and Chris one day and get like a complete idea. I think the contract between the fire department and the town of Monroe, the multiple contracts that we've gone through the years, definitely pre-existed me being with the town. So I think I might need a better grasp of it. If Chris is willing to wait until next month's meeting, I'll definitely make sure that happens within this next month. And I'll meet with Rachel as well.
Yeah, that's fine, because I think that the bill goes into effect in July or whatever, but I understand that nothing would even happen until the next year anyway, because obviously budgets aren't created already and stuff. So yeah, I'm fine with talking about it, and I'm open to negotiation or conversation about it, whatever. But I just want to put the issue to a close, to be quite honest.
Okay, if you can do that, Clayton, we appreciate it.
I'd like to have an executive session with Monroe Township and Washington Township trustees on this. I think with the increase, we need to just have that discussion.
See if we can't beat with that.
Before you have a conversation with the township trustees, can I talk to you about it? Or just
I'd be open.
Just I want to know what you're going to approach to them, because we do have contracts with them already.
Correct.
And I don't want to disrupt anything.
I understand that, and my phone is always available for you.
Yeah.
And I'm always up for discussion, but I've said over the last few months about this situation that I think we need to pull Monroe Township and Washington Township into this. This is not the first time I've said this. So, yes, I'm open to discussion.
Clerk Treasurer, what you got for us, Rachel?
I don't have anything. Budget's coming up though.
Huh?
The budget's coming up though.
Yay.
What is that?
When? I think our first meeting will be the first meet, or the September meeting. We'll discuss it, the council will read over it, and then the October meeting, it'll be approved.
Yeah.
Or not.
Of course. Clayton, you got anything for us?
Nothing to present. Apologies for not being there in person. I know this makes it hard. I wish I was there, but my wife does have a hairline fracture on her big toe. So it'll be fun for me for the 4th of July weekend.
Okay.
She kicked it.
Yay. Anybody, any other business they'd like to bring to us now?
I want to add for budget that she brought up, CCNG grants open September 2nd. So I'm meeting next week with MLS to discuss the CCNG opportunity for next year.
I also think we need to discuss the purchase of a new truck for the street department. That was, the capital, that truck should be liquidated at this point. So it's gone past its liquidation time. I would like Justin to go get several estimates and present every single one of those estimates at the next meeting. Justin, are you cool with that?
I'll see what I can do. I reached out to, Tom Kelly and Chevy. He told me that they've all closed, so it may have to wait, but I'll have some sort of information next meeting.
Because I do applaud using that vehicle past its liquidation time.
Well, I'd like to keep using it for salt. Once we move forward, it's already got the setup for it, and if we can use it for salt until we put one in the dump truck or something, it does serve a purpose.
Yep.
Well, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Okay.